Well, hello, my beautiful Librans. Welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with your monthly reading for March 2025. I've already cleansed your space and I've meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for your wonderful likes, shares, and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about, pretending to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts, or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam, okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. I'm going to cleanse your space hourly, so please be mindful there's going to be 3 loud sounds. Let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Librans, this is your monthly reading for March. I'm going to get all of your cards first before I connect to an outcome. But before I start, I just have to let you know that this morning it has been raining non-stop for hours and it's been super loud and super hard until I tapped into your energy and suddenly it stopped, okay? For other readings, it's literally been like bucketing it down, but for yours, it suddenly stopped. So perhaps that's an omen of something to expect for your March ahead. I feel a lot of you may have been detoxifying or decluttering, and you're going to see evidence of how things have worked out for you, but I feel things are going to be a little bit easier for you this month perhaps. But let's tap into your energy just to be sure. Of course, March has come around already. I can't believe it, but here we are, and I have to just give it to you straight. You know, this is the month to expect the unexpected. We have 2 major eclipses occurring this month, and eclipses, well, they mean that life, it can change on a dime. Now, that doesn't mean that change will be negative, of course, because there are so many incredible opportunities available to you as well this month. But these eclipses, they can fling you out of your comfort zone and influence you to make radical changes. This is the month of the wake-up call, and it's just in time for the astrological start to the year, which heralds the gateway to the spring or the autumn equinox, depending on where you are in the world. Spring cleaning of the soul, anyone? Or is it more of an autumn declutter of the heart? Well, the first full moon eclipse, it occurs in the sign of Virgo. So I would say expect to influence your productivity. I feel you're locked onto your goals, completing tasks to super high degrees, you know, getting them out of the way and being on to the next. Organization mode will really be fully activated. Also, I would say expect to pay more attention to your health as well this month. Now, of course, this full moon eclipse, it will amplify so many mixed emotions, but it is literally the perfect time to release and let go of pressure, stress, or anything that's been weighing you down. However, it could make you feel a little bit cranky or critical, so I would say don't forget to be compassionate towards yourself, my beautiful Librans. And of course, your sensitivity may be running high, and I would say it encourages you to embrace the mystical side of life this month. And you'll have a healthy balance between nurturing your dreams and goals, whilst at the same time taking practical approaches to make them become a reality. You may also be drawn to health practices such as lymphatic drainage or reflexology to stay on top of your foot health as well. Now, this is the month to literally get back on track, and as we move into Aries season, it's a perfect time to launch a new project or lifestyle changes, and Venus's retrograde might even see an ex reach out too. But with Mercury retrograding at the same time, the message will probably end up going straight to your spam folder. We might also see apps or technology temporarily glitching and the odd power outage due to freak storms. I would also say that we have one of the hugest shifts occurring for quite some time. It occurs this month, and it's Neptune returning to the sign of Aries. And this really is a big deal for so many reasons. But on a personal level, it's mainly positive. It actually amplifies where you feel confused or frustrated in your life, so you can find clarity or solution to course correct. Anything that you haven't gotten around to starting, well, this is the month that you face it head on and launch straight into action. This shift is also encouraging humanity to continue this huge awakening. And those who've been asleep, as it were, will start to awaken. We can already feel it, but you'll actively notice more people questioning the status quo, seeking more mindfulness and reaching out to groups or communities that align with similar beliefs or values. This shift is so significant. You know, the last time that this occurred was 1861 to 1875, and we only have to look back at what occurred during this time to see what we might expect in the coming years. And it really is a big deal for society. New structures are being ushered in. Now, globally, and please fast forward this part if you really don't wish to hear it, I've been a little bit concerned with the combination of the following transition. Especially since Mars, planet of passion and fiery clashes, is currently direct in the sign of Cancer, triggering emotional responses to conflict. And of course, Venus, your planet, my beautiful Librans, it is of course the planet of love and harmony. It makes a rare retrograde from the 1st of March to the 12th of April. Now, these two planets have literally been keeping a lid on various conflicts, escalating to unmanageable boiling points until now. And I really hope I'm wrong on this, okay? But we may see an escalation of hotbed situations as we approach April. Now, also, as Pisces energy shifts straight into Aries energy during this month, we could see a leader of faith leave the earthly plane, and a replacement who's already been prepared for the role will step into a very challenging environment. My guides gave me a sentence and an image, and I'll just give you what they told me. I see the smoke. It is already written, okay? So do with that what you will. But economically, Neptune in Aries, it zeroes in on core inflation. However, we might only start to see the full effects of that when Saturn retrogrades in the middle of July. We're already feeling it, but we're really going to feel it in July. And with 2 eclipses this month, we may see a financial wobble, but everything is being held together by Saturn right now. We will also see more political leaders step down or be replaced, if you know what I mean. And even someone who has not held office long, and I really can't tell you if this is going to be for March, this part, but the framework for this is already being prepared for, so it will happen. I see it in my images there, but corruption will also continue to be outed in all walks of life. I mean, 2025 is certainly, you know, the eye-opener of truth, and that's across the board in all walks of life. And I already mentioned that in my yearlies, that this would be the year of truth being revealed. And we're already seeing an increase in seismic activity as well, even in areas not prone to it. But the Ring of Fire, which extends through Tonga all the way to Chile, it will become more active over the coming months, okay? Especially as we move into Aries season. Ring of Fire, Aries is fire, so it will influence that area. And I mentioned in my yearly forecast, underwater volcanoes will also activate. And we've already seen confirmation of this occurring in the Aegean Sea since January. But there is more to come in different places as well, so I want you to be aware of that too. Now, the world, it moves all the time, of course, but we're in a period where new landscapes are reshaping, both personally and also in terms of the Earth. And as we approach the super new moon, which of course coincides with a solar eclipse, so it's double the energy there, it's really going to be a big deal. This is going to occur in Aries on the 29th of March. It will literally feel like a fresh new start across the board. Your passion, your curiosity, thirst for adventure, it literally increases. You're going to be bold and daring and ambitiously stride towards your dreams and goals, accessing double the luck along the way. So anything that you've been meaning to start, begin it now, especially before Mercury turns retrograde. Now, I want you to be aware that I'm just going to turn your cards the right way around because I'm not taking any reversals there. But I want you to be aware, if you do start something in Mercury retrograde, it's not negative. It just means that there may be some delays, setbacks. You have to tweak a plan, or someone makes a mistake and you have to just, correct it. It's not negative. It just means it delays the process or gives you thinking time on how to best improve it before you launch it, for example. So I just want you to be aware of that. But this period, it charges your intentions. It supports any new ventures and even breathes new life into anything you already have in motion to amplify more rewarding results. And I can see that happening for your month ahead. You're starting with the child energy, which, symbolically means a new start, fresh new start there. And the sun card is the sun. I mean, it's the most positive card in the deck. So I would say, you know, this is you kind of like breathing new life into things that you already have in motion, but also starting things that are going to really yield results on a positive level. It's going to increase and amplify your prosperity. Now, of course, the first card energy is the child. Okay, so this can indicate that, you know, especially if you have a child, you can be spending more time with your child, maybe doing creative pursuits, for example, really nurturing, you know, your child there, because of course, Queen of Cups, you're someone who's a caregiver. You know, if you're a parent there, you have a lot of unconditional love for your child, of course. Knight of Wands energy, it could be some sort of adventure that you're planning, or maybe you are strategizing something for their birthday if it occurs round about this time, or maybe it's something that you're thinking about for the future to gift your child. But most importantly, the gift of love, I mean, there's nothing like that. So I feel like you give all of yourself to your child. But it could be that you are planning something to do, some sort of activity or some sort of adventure, or maybe a trip perhaps in the next coming weeks or months where, you know, you have something really interesting to do with your child if you're a parent. But bringing it back to your energy, I feel this is about you kind of like tapping into your inner child, being more playful this month, more spontaneous, you know, really kind of like thinking about your journey. Your 12th house is influencing you this month, and that is the deepest part of your chart. So you're definitely going to be more sensitive than usual, okay? Especially with that child energy, it can be that you're looking at when you were younger, you know, the experiences you had, how life just, you know, threw lots of challenges at you, how sometimes, you know, you had moments of bad luck, how you were working really hard, but now you're turning things around, and there's also good luck there that you experience. But I feel you've overcome a challenge. Some of you, it's about literally, you know, reprogramming certain situations in order to reclaim your power, because, you know, that sun energy, it can be that you are flourishing despite the circumstances that you had. Some of you, I mean, you could have had a wonderful childhood, and you're actually thinking about the memories that you had, and, you know, the good old days, and how it was easier maybe because, you know, the child energy and the Five of Wands, it can be, you know, things are challenging now, but when you were younger, it just felt like you were free. Like there was less responsibility. It just felt like, you know, if only you knew then what you know now, it can be that you feel perhaps you could have accomplished more. But I want you to be aware that you are in the right place at the right time, and, you know, the successes that you've had so far, you're only going to build upon them, and the challenges, they've made you stronger. So I don't see any challenge this month for you, because your Five of Wands is literally in the resistance position. But for some of you, I definitely see here that you want to do more fun things, okay? So the 12th house, whilst it is the deepest part of your chart, it's you questioning philosophically, like, what's life all about? How can I have more fun? Am I enjoying what I'm doing right now? And if I'm not, how can I develop like some area of my life so I can embrace it more? How can I be more curious? This is the equivalent of the Fool card. So it can indicate that it's a fresh new start with a fresh new month. So you're having an approach to the month where you are open-hearted, you are basically with that Queen of Cups there, you're honoring yourself, nurturing yourself, maybe even doing something that you used to do when you were younger, whether it's like a creative endeavor, maybe it's taking yourself off into a little corner of your room to read a book, listening to the rain perhaps. For some of you, especially since the child is present there and the 18 connects to the moon energy, it can be that you're really sensitive, okay? And that you are looking at old emotions and new emotions, and you're kind of like processing life. You're conquering the inner critic. And I feel like, you know, it's almost like you having this deep reflective conversation with yourself when you were younger, saying, you know what, it's going to be all right. Actually, we got this. There's nothing to worry about. And I feel like you're kind of like adulting. And although it's a challenge, I feel like you've been working on yourself. And part of you wishes you could go back to that little child and say, you know what, it's all good. The challenges, they've come and they've gone. And you know what? You are managing life to such a high degree. You'll be really proud of yourself. Okay. So I feel a lot of you are looking at where you started with something and where you are right now and where you are aspiring to go. And I can see that wherever you're ending up, I feel like you're protected, you're directed, and there's a lot of success, good fortune, but also warmth and kindness and unconditional love in your future. I mean, a lot of you, this is you looking at something new. So it could be that, you started something new already and now you're kind of like mapping your progress. You're inspired by a new idea, for example, this month and you're running with it. But also I feel this is about you kind of like saying things have been the same for some time. Same old thing, just a different day. And you just want to be a little bit more spontaneous. You just want to be like living in the moment, living in the moment, second to second, emotion to motion, just like if you think about the nature of a child, one moment they feel like sad about something and then they're laughing about something. They're not having an attachment to the emotions. They're just, letting those emotions wash over them because that is the body resetting itself or purifying in some way. So I feel like you're trying to let go of things as well. Like from a very deep philosophical kind of level, you're letting go of a chapter of your life that you've grieved, you found challenging, and you're like, no, I'm not allowing this to impede my happiness. I just want to be free of this. So I do feel that March is a month where you're freer in your energy, where, you're doing things for you. You are treating yourself. You're honoring your emotions. You're feeling comfortable in who you are. I mean, as an aside note, I do see that some of you are going to get a compliment about how you do not look your age, but it's because you're young at heart, and I feel like you're embracing that. You're doing more fun things. No matter what you do in life, I feel like you are someone who is passionate. You're leading with your passions this month. I feel like you're following your heart to do things that you love. There's a creative side of you coming out there as well. And I feel that you're secure to explore is what I'm being given there. Now, the next card that has popped out for you is the Queen of Cups. So this is you literally romancing your life a little bit more. I mean, for some of you, if you're in a high level commitment, it could be that you are conceiving a child. If you've been waiting a long time to conceive, it can be that this is the month that you get that news that, you have baby on board. So I feel there's a lot of joy, a lot of celebration there. For some of you, it could also be that if you have had trouble conceiving, it could be that, you visit a practitioner or you get some sort of advice that helps you in some way, because I do feel with that Wheel of Fortune energy, it can be that, fate and destiny will help you, of course, because what is meant for you will never pass you by. But with the toil and labor card, I feel for some of you, it could be that you have to reach out to a practitioner or someone who can, look at the inner workings of what's going on there. So I'm just mentioning it because, of course, we've got the labor card there. It can indicate that in order to conceive, it means that you have to really like fine tune your instrument, and your instrument, of course, is your body or your partner's body, for example. So some of you could be going through that right now, but you may be keeping a secret for a little while to find out that actually you conceive. Okay, so that's coming out there as well. Some of you may also get baby news this month from someone that's close to you. Maybe they've had trouble conceiving and, you get that news that they're having a breakthrough and that they are going to have a pregnancy without complication is what I'm seeing there. If you are pregnant yourself right now, congratulations. I see with the Five of Wands there in the resistance position, of course, no complications there. But if you have had some complications, they will be worked out is what I see. Trust your healthcare provider. I see with that Six of Swords, protected energy. And of course that, if you have had challenge, you are coming out of that challenge now, and that everything from here on is going to be super positive and you can enjoy that pregnancy. Okay, so moving away from that, because of course not everybody's pregnant, but I have to honor it because it's come up there in the reading. I feel like Queen of Cups is basically you trying to, as I said, romance your life a little bit more, do things that you used to love doing, to really like reignite that spark, really connecting to your old self or rediscovering that playful side of yourself if you feel it's been absent for a while. But I do feel a lot of you, this is new starts, new projects, new ideas, and maybe even something new comes into your life. Some sort of news comes in that actually makes you feel that everything's okay, that everything is going the way you hope for. There's a lot of love here for you this month, and I feel that's also from the universe because of that Wheel of Fortune energy. Now, of course, the Queen of Cups can indicate that you're a little bit more sensitive than usual, and that really does connect to your 12th house. So I would say that, this is time to commit to your higher self. Really dive deep into who you are, what you stand for, what's important to you, and have a deeper sense of awareness. You're going to receive a lot of download messages from spirit or from your guides regarding your personal development and growth. I feel a lot of you, this is like, slow down, slow down. I know you've got a lot on your plate. You're very busy. I mean, this is you in a rush. For example, like Knight of Wands energy is that you are busy doing this month. The beginning of the month is actually going to be busier than the end of the month there. Some of you, it could be that you're trying to tie up loose ends, get things done, organized, because you're taking a vacation. So that Six of Swords is like, oh, I can't wait to go on a vacation. Can't wait to go away, whether you're going abroad, because a lot of you, it could be that you're going overseas, or maybe it's just like a peaceful getaway. For some of you, because you have the family room there, it could even be a staycation, okay? But I feel like you're taking a break or a pause in some way, and it's necessary because you've been working really hard, or you've been super busy, or just had a lot on your plate, and you've just been trying to make life, work there. But the Queen of Cups energy, because it is your protagonist energy, it means you're being very intuitive. You're tapping into your imaginative side, very artistic. You're romancing your life, as I've mentioned, but I also feel that you're fascinated with the mystical side of life. Dreamy energy. It can connect to Pisces energy. So it's like your visions. You're all up in your vision of what you believe can be your future, and thoughts always become things. So I feel here that this is about you allowing yourself to have your imagination run wild. If you think about the nature of a child, the child uses their imagination to creatively construct their circumstances. I remember when I was a child, I was running around like a play area like I was, a horse or like a leopard. In that moment I was wild and free, and I really believed that I was that. For some of you, it could be like you believed you were an astronaut and you were like in space and you were exploring, or that you were playing house, for example, and you really believed you were having a tea party with like cakes and friends around and things like that. It's like, can you allow your imagination to run wild like when you were a child? Because that is the nature of manifestation. Believe it, like it's here, like it's happening, like you're living it right now, and it will become your reality. Of course, I didn't become a horse, but I had this innate sense of freedom, of independence, of being wild and connecting to my passionate side when I got older, and allowing myself to say, you know what? I'm capable of this. I'm going to do it. There was no restraints. So I was tapping into innate power, or visualizing how I felt about myself when I was younger. And, that energy helped me become who I am today. For example, some of you, if you were imagining like playing house, for example, it can be that, you're taking pride over your home space right now. You may be hosting people coming over. You could be someone who likes the finer details in life. You like everything to be nice for people because you really care. This is a card of caring. And of course, your 7th house is influencing you this month. So male or female, this is not a gender specific reading, even though we got the Queen of Cups there. This is about you caring this month about, especially 7th house is like caring about your partnerships, your friendships, people in your everyday circumstances, deepening your partnerships with them, whether they are creative alliances, business alliances, whether they are neighbors, even if there's that one person, that one neighbor that you're like, oh gosh, I can't bear them, or they're like a neighbor from hell, for example. With the 5 of Wands, I feel, there is an energy this month where actually people get on. There's harmony. So if there's someone who makes a lot of noise, for example, March could be the month where actually they don't make noise. Or perhaps there's a conversation that comes along where, you get to articulate how you feel about certain noises, for example, with the neighbor, and they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't hear it. They may even like deny it, for example, say, I don't hear that noise. That's crazy. But then they go home and they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that the walls were so thin. They can hear us, or they can hear whatever's happening. And they become more mindful that actually they didn't realize. So they adjust their behavior accordingly, because you do have the cards of adjustment in the resistance position. So I feel this is like, if you approach something with compassion rather than a knee-jerk reaction to something, perhaps you get a better outcome. So this is something you can apply across the board, of course. Now, there's always going to be that one person who is stubborn, who never changes, who doesn't care, who's thoughtless, of course. But because we have, the toil and labor, we have the 5 of Wands, and we have the Wheel of Fortune, I feel that someone can work on something behind the scenes and make everything harmonious again. And for some of you, this could be a partnership. This could be a friendship. If you have found someone in particular to be challenging in your life, someone who you feel is not there for you or doesn't stick around, I feel like you're honoring your own needs, and you still care about that person. You can't just switch off your feelings, but you honor with a healthier boundary that actually maybe, true power comes from not altering others, but actually mastering yourself or adjusting your own behavior. So it's like you're going to take care of you, and you're going to step away or withdraw from anyone who's challenging or a circumstance that feels like it's draining your energy. And actually, you're protecting your inner peace. And you'll see that person or that situation correct their behavior based on you changing yours. Okay. Now, of course, we shouldn't have to change for other people, but I feel you're changing for yourself, and they are adjusting accordingly because you have a healthier boundary. You're teaching that person how you like to be approached or how you like to conduct your life, and they can see, and they will lead by example. And you are that example, okay? That's what I see there, okay? Now, the Queen of Cups, of course, indicates that you're embracing your sensitive side, you're following your heart, you're in a really powerful position to, kind of step up and intuitively make decisions. I feel some of you may actually deal with some very delicate situations this month, something that has the potential to be challenging. I do see a lot of you, especially in the working environment, there could be a challenging situation in the working environment. This could be that some people are leaving. There could be some redundancies there. I don't see this happening for you, but with the Six of Swords there, you do have the family room, which is all about stability, okay, and like presenting a sort of like a stable front on things. So it could be that if you're leaving a position in your working environment, I feel you are taking the decision to do that, because the Knight of Wands is like you're springing into action. So some of you may be looking for alternative opportunities either abroad or elsewhere. It doesn't have to be abroad there. But Six of Swords, you're going to be guided to like a really incredible opportunity, which could literally lead to more money, or you like moving to a bigger property in some way. That's what I'm seeing there. For some of you, it could be that there is some sort of in-house hiring, shall we say, and it's like you may be seeing people kind of being made redundant in certain areas. It's almost like a company maybe like cutting down on certain areas that they feel are not running efficiently. So therefore, whilst there is cutbacks in some areas, you may see hiring in others, which actually can sometimes make no sense, especially if there's someone here that you really like that is being made redundant. But actually I see here, for some of you in the working environment, you see someone who is actually challenging leaving a position, and actually it just makes the environment so much nicer. That's what I'm seeing. So if you do work for a company, I see that there is someone who basically is not pulling their weight, and I feel that they are removed from a position or they're let go of. I mean, for some of you, not all of you, there is an energy of this person being seconded to a different branch, but the majority, I see someone being let go, and the environment after that is just so much nicer. Okay, so this person, they are hard work. They're all up in people's business, for example, micromanaging. This is the sort of person who they are projecting. It's like they're all up in other people's work or business, because they're coasting, they're not doing something themselves. So that's something that's coming out. If you are in a career, I feel someone gets called out and they're moving on to pastures new, but it means a reshuffle in the working environment, which means, there could be some in-house hiring in other departments. So that's coming through there as well. But I feel because you love what you do, this is something that is seen. So if you are in a career where you work for a company, I feel better opportunities are on the horizon for you. But a lot of you could actually find a new opportunity before that even becomes available to you where you're at right now. And if you've been made redundant yourself already before you've come to this reading, I definitely see here that there is a new role opening up for you that is just much more peaceful. Gives you an opportunity to really nourish your skill set, and you can be like elevated. And I just get this energy that you are the star of the show in this. So it could be that a spotlight for success is being shined in your career sector in March, especially the end of March there, where a new opportunity comes towards you and it just feels like incredible new start. It's something that you're going to love. The universe is stepping in to give you this opportunity, and it just feels like, you know, you don't have to overthink your steps. You're just doing. There's no one like looking over your shoulder going, did you do that? Or send me an email when you've done that. It's just, you're taking more creative control, okay? Now, if you're an entrepreneur, this could be that some of you are thinking about where you belong in your career. Could be that you're trying to be a little bit more nomadic, more free in your energy. You could be changing your schedule this month to get your work done early, because this is an early bird card. So it can mean that, you know, you are getting out there early, happening to your work, and then you're done and you have the rest of the day. Or it could be vice versa. Some of you could be just enjoying your day, being creative, and then doing the work in the evening, depending on how your energy works best. But I do see a lot of you, if you're an entrepreneur, you could be looking at different countries or somewhere overseas where you feel that your industry would thrive more, okay? Six of Swords is like looking logistically of how to migrate your business so that it avoids any sort of financial trouble there. I mean, I don't see any financial trouble in your future. Got to be honest with you, the cards that you got for March, they're looking pretty good there, but it can indicate that you are expecting troubles ahead. And of course, economically, things are challenging right now. I mean, globally, economically, things are a little bit wild, okay? And they are pretty much going to fluctuate this year, but there may be some major ones happening in March, April, but also I see November being a bit of a hotbed month there as well. But I would say that you're protected in all of that because of your thoughts. You know, you're being very savvy with your structure. I mean, no matter what you do, whether you're retired, whether you're a carer, whether you are a parent, whether you are in a career or an entrepreneur, I feel that any challenge you've had or something or somebody has been super hard work or hard to deal with, I feel this month you're leaving that behind. It just feels like a relief, okay? It just feels like things are easier. It just feels like, you know, you're transitioning towards better times, more peaceful times. And a lot of you, you could be looking at your home. You know, because we have that Six of Swords and the house there, it can be like the family room. You're discussing a move for some of you. This could be something that's on your mind. For some of you, it could be that you're moving to a bigger property because you want to start a family or you have a family. For some of you, it could be that, you know, you are thinking about moving abroad, or maybe for some of you, it could be that if you're a parent, for example, because we do have that baby as the starting energy, it could be that you are at a certain level with your child where they now need to go to day school, for example, or they need to go to university, or they need to, you know, go to a new environment. So it could be that there's a bit of a change in the family in some way, and you're watching your children like grow up and do wonderful things, but of course you're navigating it with them. And it's like all those feelings. For some of you, if your child is going off to university this month, or like planning to go traveling, for example, it could be like empty nest syndrome, and it starts making you think about when you were a child and, you know, the big old wide world and how it was then and how it is now. And of course, looking at the energy, I don't see that you have anything to worry about, but you're a parent, you're going to worry anyway, right? But I feel with that Six of Swords, you'll gradually adjust to it and you'll see actually there's nothing to worry about, because they are your child and you guided them, and you know you've done a great job. But coming back to you, no matter what age you are or whether you got children or not, I feel this is about you kind of like following your heart, doing something that you love, but having a destination in mind and reaching that destination. You may be unsure about whether you're going to get there, but I can see that you will. I see that you're on target, you're on top of your goals. I mean, this is a very goal-oriented night. So whatever it is that you're doing this month, I feel like you are in a flurry of activity, you're taking charge. I mean, this is about you embracing your passions. It means that you also have a desire for a new adventure, wanting to start new things. Now, of course, on a practical level, because of course the family room there is, it means that you could be like having new contracts, service providers, or maybe checking out new things in the neighborhood that really like inspire you, or maybe some of you may introduce a family member to a product or a food substance, or like a game or something that you've encountered. It's like you're enthusiastic about something and you want to tell your family or friends. So I feel you may identify something that you're really excited about and say, hey, look, I found this thing. It's really awesome. It's everything that we're looking for, and let's see how it goes. Let's explore, because this is the Explore card. So it doesn't have to be like a big new adventure. It can be something just new that you've discovered that you want to talk about or tell people about. On a personal level, this could also be you trying new products or being more flamboyant in the way that you dress. It can also be that you're adventurous and you're booking some travel. Maybe you're going to a destination that you've never been before. Okay, I mean, it's going to be sunny, it's going to be enjoyable there. I feel like, you know, you're going to have safe passage. So if you are someone who is traveling this month, I definitely see here that it goes without a hitch is what I see. I mean, Five of Wands, if there's any like delays, I feel like they get rectified pretty quickly. So I don't see any need for like compensation, things like that. But the Knight of Wands is, how can I be more free, more independent in my lifestyle? So I feel a lot of you are having this sense of doing something your own way, marching to the beat of your own drum, doing something that you're unstoppable at, and rising up to trust your vision and making it happen. So anything you start, you're finishing. Anything that's, you know, unfinished, I feel like, or ongoing, I feel like you're basically making a lot of progress in that. You're actually going to see a lot of progress this month, especially when the Wheel of Fortune is in the resistance position. You know, this can indicate something that's ongoing, you know, that we're maintaining and sustaining. I feel like you make a lot of progress in it, maybe more progress than you've made in quite some time. Also, I mean, a lot of you are looking at the cyclical nature of things, of life in general. How we all like start as this bright, curious, wonderful light in the world, hopeful and, you know, excited about the vision of the future. And then life happens and you're like, okay, one of the hardest things to do is to witness things that you really care about maybe not going as planned, or it's hard out there with the toil and labor card there, okay, and the Wheel of Fortune energy. Sometimes things feel like they're out of control, okay? But we must trust the process and we must not allow it to harden our heart. And this is the month where you just feel a little bit more like energy, motivation, drive, and something's different about this month. It's the energy, but also it's your mindset. You're in that go-getting spirit where any challenge, you're conquering it. There's nothing getting in your way. And this is going to be a month that reminds you that you're capable of anything that you set your mind to. If you can start it, you can make it happen, and it becomes your reality, and it's very successful, okay? I mean, it's not without hard work, of course, because this card, although it's in the resistance position, I feel a lot of you, especially with the 7th house in the middle of the month influencing you, this could be you like kicking back, relaxing, either taking a vacation or spending time with family or spending time with soul tribe members, you know, basically not working. It can be that you are deciding to take some, you know, well-earned rest, whether that's through a staycation, whether that's through like a quick trip, for example. I feel like you're honoring your need for downtime. You know, you're a human being, not a human doing all the time. So I would say with the Wheel of Fortune in the resistance position, sometimes you can take your foot off the pedal. Sometimes you can relax. You know, if you've been feeling stuck in a rut and you've been doing something and it's like constant, sometimes we experience burnout or we feel unmotivated. But when we just take a pause or reflect and say, actually, you know, not today, I can't do this. I'm just going to take a day off. I'm just going to just like, you know, poodle around the home space and just kind of like, just do me. Suddenly, you know, lots of new ideas come towards you. Suddenly you feel like you have a fresh new energy, or you're breathing life into something that perhaps is ongoing. So I feel taking a well-earned rest this month is important because it just recharges your batteries and you come back with a clear new mindset there. Now, some of you may want to know the ins and outs of something in the middle of this month. It's like you're breaking something apart, okay? For some of you, this could be literally something in the home space. I don't know why I'm seeing a remote control for a TV, okay? So it could be literal that someone is like taking that apart. I mean, maybe the batteries need replacing. That's such an obvious thing to say, but it's like someone taking something apart. So maybe that's you. Maybe you're repairing something in the home space yourself rather than getting someone else to do it for you. I mean, because I'm seeing the remote control there for the TV. Perhaps for some of you, it's like you're releasing control on something. Maybe you're like, you know what, you're in the flow of something and now you're just trusting your vision. It's like snowball effect. It's in motion, it's happening, and it's actually going to be very successful. You're destined to do whatever this is, and you know, when it's up and running, or maybe that's you learning the ins and outs of something so you can get something launched or up and running, so then you don't have to control it anymore. It's just happening. For some of you, this could be passive income, for example, or it could be an idea that you have that you're launching online, because the swords are all about, you know, the mind, ideas, but also connected to the ether, the air. So this can be that, you know, you are visualizing some sort of creative endeavor, or maybe you're doing something that you love doing, or maybe you have knowledge about something and you're creating like an online course, or you have something to say about something and you're documenting like a blog or something like that, and you're just getting it out into the ether. Maybe you're partnering up with a social media brand, or you're doing something that perhaps is getting your message out there, and it's creating some sort of passive income there, and it frees up your time. I don't see that a lot of you are focused on your finances per se, but I do see that you're keeping a strict like budget there with that Six of Swords. And if you have had any challenges regarding finances, I really feel that this month you get back on target with your finances, and I see that, you know, you overcome a problem, or, you know, you move on from a challenging time. It's like a breakthrough, okay? For some of you, if that's job related, it could be that this new job comes in and pays you more money than you had in the previous place, but also for some of you, it could be second streams of income in order to deal with the fact that, of course, there's inflation and products and services are amplified because of this very bloated period in time that we are in. But I feel, you know, what goes up always comes down, so there's a fluctuation there. So I just feel that you will be protected during these times, and the universe sends you a lifeline in something that you have found challenging. Now, of course, this doesn't always have to be with money or career or environment. This could be if you've had a challenging kind of like problem that you've been dealing with, managing stress, managing pain, you know. The toil and labor can be that, you know, perhaps you found something really hard and you've been managing it, but I feel like you conquer it, or you get on top of it. It's not so hard to deal with in the month of March there for you. And it could be that you either get someone to assess the inner workings of your body, for example. I mean, Wheel of Fortune can be fluctuating emotions or fluctuating hormones, for example. You know, something is like happening one moment and then not the next. So it can be whatever it is you're going through, please apply it to your situation. For some of you, it could be like a migraine. Okay, it could be that you get it sorted out, go for an examination, and they're like looking inside to see what's going on, the inner workings, so that you can be free from this, because there's a little like cat there, so it's like independent, so you can be detached from it. Now, the practitioner may actually especially if you've connected to practitioners in the past regarding this, you may have felt that they were a little aloof or they weren't as understanding. But this month, you could actually identify a new practitioner who has a lot of compassion for what you're going through. They're very knowledgeable, and they may be able to sort out straight away and identify and say, oh yeah, it's this. Actually, we've done some tests and it's this. I mean, I don't know how this was missed. And it can be that suddenly everything is kind of like at a plateau where it's totally manageable. And finally, for a long time, you've been dealing with something. Suddenly you're out of the woods. Suddenly, you know, you're moving on. You're not dealing with this anymore. So I feel this could also be a family member that you've been supporting through something, and suddenly it's identified what's going on there and it's corrected, and it just feels like it's a brighter time for all. Okay, so please apply it to your situation. Now, of course, the toil and labor, it will go into the upright card. So I do feel that, of course, you're going to work really hard this month on something. But I feel a lot of you, this is you working hard to be independent, whether it is to be independent when you retire, for example, because you do have cycles here. So it could be that you're focused on your 401k, your savings plans. Even though you don't have pentacles here, it means that you're investing in a brighter future. You're investing for more independence in some way. So I feel like, you know, a lot of you are working towards retiring early, if that's a possibility, especially in our economic environment. But I feel, you know, a turn of luck will help you get into that position. So if you're retired already at the moment, I feel like you could be looking at how hard you've worked for all the money that you have right now, and seeing that, you know, a fluctuating market is making you feel a bit anxious or nervous. But I see that you're protected. I see that there could be a small increase pension wise. For example, for some of you, not all of you, but I'm getting like, it depends on where you're located in the world, because we have the world card energy at number 21 there. So sometimes things are up and sometimes they're down. But I feel for a majority of you, you could see some sort of increase financially that perhaps you were not expecting, because the Wheel of Fortune is a surprise. I mean, the majority of you, there is a work surprise going on, but I feel it's something that is harmonious because, of course, we have that Five of Wands. It's in the resistance position, but again, anything that's in the resistance position, it will go into the upright. So I would say that, something that was challenging is basically sorted. You could be problem solving this month, but also that doesn't mean it's the end of challenge or problem life. It happens. It's always going to be a rolling cycle of riding the wave. And I feel that, there may be some like blips along the way, but I feel like the way you deal with them is perfect, because that Six of Swords means you're protected. Nothing's going to mess with your inner peace. You're conquering things. You're protected in a way where you are being shifted towards something better. And you're choosing to believe that by stepping into the unknown on something and trusting the process, that actually things will be better. And I do believe for you, they will. So a lot of you, it could be that you're embracing the unknown this month, something that you've been strategizing, because I'm seeing a chess piece in the water. It could be that you're making a certain move, or it could be that you're lining things up to launch or make a move in something, and you don't know how it's going to go. But I can see here that your outcome is it benefits you and your family, and I feel like you're on to better things. There's a lot of happiness and joy here, but also I feel there's a period of relax and relief. I mean, this person's literally taking a bath, okay? So it can be, and relax. You've done all the hard work on something, and suddenly you start to see the reward on it. I mean, I would say for some of you, the beginning of the month is more likely to get really good news that propels you, or you see that there is progress there. I feel a lot of you as well on a personal level, this could be that you are, more adventurous, taking more risks, but they're calculated risks, I would say, because of that Six of Swords. I also see an invitation. So some of you could be joining an organization, or perhaps you are invited to something that you have put your resume out for. I mean, it could be an invitation to a party as well, because I see a lot of celebration around you. For some of you, it could be someone getting married, or maybe there's family news that comes in. And for example, if it's someone having a child, it could be that now you're traveling to your family to visit and meet the newbie to the family, for example. So please take it as it resonates. But I actually see here on a personal level, something new that benefits you and your family that you worked really hard for is going to help you propel to the next stage or level up in some area of your life. I mean, the Five of Wands, it's not a negative card. It actually means something that has the potential to be clumsy or a lot. It means it's coming together. It means that something you've been working towards that have different compartments, it's like trying to adjust so it fits. So if you feel that life has been a little bit clunky recently, or all the compartments have not been working like clockwork, I feel actually they are going to start ticking over and slotting into place much better than they have been. I mean, I do feel for some of you, if you've had like some sort of conflict or argument with a person, there is like harmony in the month of March. So whether this is a person that you work with, or a neighbor, or a family member, if there's been a little bit of conflict or tension there, I feel it gets resolved in March, and it's like, the air is cleared and you're on to the next chapter of your life. And it's not like a situation where both parties brood on it and then bring it up later on. I feel it's something that's like, it's done. Okay, you know what? We're just moving on from this. So whatever that is, I feel, it just is like a fresh release from something. Now, of course, the family room can indicate that you are focused on your home space. I do see you getting out a lot. Your seventh house is like you connecting to the people you care about, having fun, but also being discerning about the company that you keep, maybe even analyzing who you trust with certain things. I mean, I do get this energy for some of you that you may have to let someone down. Okay, and I feel like you want to be there for them for something, but you may have to let someone down or cancel something in the month of March, but it's for a very good reason, and they understand is what I see there as well. So it could be that you have to like take a day off work for something, or it could be that you have to like cancel an appointment and reschedule, because I see a lot of this like reschedules happening for you there. But with the family room, and it's number 21, this can indicate that you're completing a cycle. A lot of you with the child energy, this is a big month for actually like shutting down a generational cycle that's been happening for quite some time. And you've had the hard task of doing that, but suddenly you see that you've let go of some very difficult emotions. That Pisces energy is going to be very cathartic. It's going to really make you reflective and say, you know what, I've come a long way. Despite what my circumstances were and how, you know, certain cycles played out, maybe even toxic patterns or generational wounding, you're like, it stops with me. I've had enough. I'm not doing this. So I feel like you leave the month really proud of yourself that you broke through a cycle. But I feel a lot of you, this is more that you have had a breakthrough, okay, on something that benefits you and your family. Now, of course, this card can indicate a little bit of spring cleaning going on this month, maybe rearranging your home. But because we have that Six of Swords, it could be that also, you know, whilst you're keeping your house nice and tidy and neat, for example, you're also getting out there. Some of you are actually just getting everything in order so you can take a vacation. But I would say with this Six of Swords energy, it means that, you know, a lot of you are thinking about where you belong right now and like looking at different places in the world, and you're kind of like having a bit of a spiritual awakening. And I feel this is you like moving on to pastures new. So it could be that you're drawn to like a new neighborhood, new environment, new country. Maybe is that you want to be more nomadic or more free. So you're just readjusting your circumstances in order to be more independent. If you're retiring, for example, this could be that you are more independent, more free, and now you're adjusting to like a new pace of life, because the Knight of Wands is like busy, busy, busy. And just because you're retiring doesn't mean that you don't have things to do, but it means you actually control your time and you can do it in a more leisurely fashion. Okay, so it could be that you are looking at the nature of time right now. For some of you, it could be that, you know, we're approaching the end of a year. Okay, especially in terms of like tax. So it could be that the pressure is on, you're busy, you're getting receipts sorted, you're getting everything organized, and then suddenly you've done it and you've completed it. You've entered it to your like accountant if you have one, or you know, you've put it in for assessment, whatever it is. It's like, and relax, you're done. Some of you could be actually trying to, you know, apply for something, whether that's like get something in on a deadline, apply for college, university, a permit, an extension, whatever it is. There could be something that's time sensitive. I see that you're being very active in the month, but I do see that you hit, you know, a deadline or a target, and I feel like you've actually got time to spare. So don't rush something or don't feel worried about something. I feel like you've got this, okay? Now, also, I feel this card, it indicates some of you have had a very testing time. For some of you, it could even be that it's been someone in your family, whether they've come to stay or they're coming to stay, or, you know, it can be some sort of challenge. It's been testing and you're moving on from it, and it just feels like, oh, thank goodness you've got through that period. Could be a difficult cycle at work. Could be like difficult weather, for example, for some of you. It could also be that you felt really challenged by somebody or something, and it just feels like March, especially the end of March, it's like, you know what, I don't have to deal with it now. I've completed it. It's on. You know, you could have been doing a dissertation or trying to complete a book or whatever it is, you complete it. You know, whether it's a project or whether it's a job for a client, or you're trying to set something up and the ins and outs of it have been really challenging, especially when you're trying to do some sort of legal structure. There's lots of pitfalls. It can be, if you make this move, it's really positive, but also if you don't do it in this way, it can be really negative. And you're like, someone please just help me. How do I do it? How can I just structure it? Someone give me advice. But you may actually discover the advice and it helps you create that structure, and suddenly you're doing something that feels challenging or testing. Suddenly it's happening and it's like ticking over in the background, and it's like, okay, I got it done. All right, let's move on. So I really feel that, you know, it's a very productive month, but also it's an eye-opening month where something that was challenging or you felt was going to be like monumental, you're passing it. It's fine. Some of you may literally be taking a test this month as well. For some of you, it could be like a driving test, or perhaps it's a test at your working environment. You know, sometimes companies, they send through like a test about due diligence, or, you know, I would say with the Five of Wands there, this is something to specifically challenge to see if you click like a link that you shouldn't click, or whether you can answer questions regarding due diligence for your company. if you work for a company, I feel like you pass, okay? But it is a test. And you may feel a bit frustrated, but actually your test results show that you're someone who is dedicated to your job or dedicated to the team or your environment. And it just means that you're elevated because you're someone who is really knowledgeable and you have that spark. You have what it takes to get to the top, but also you pass tests. For some of you, it could also be that, you know, you are, because I'm just getting this weird feeling with this card. It's like a waiting room rather than the family room. Okay, because I'm feeling either some of you are waiting for results or perhaps you are going for some sort of important meeting and you have like an inner battle, like you're a little bit nervous, don't know how it's going to go. But actually I see that, you know, you're going to pass with flying colors. You're like passing a test, okay? But the wait, it can be that you've been waiting. But because I'm seeing like chess pieces there, it's like you're making a move or you're setting yourself up for something. And you know what? There's nothing to worry about. Okay, I want you to be aware of that because Six of Swords means that, you know, because things in the past may have been a setback or you've been let down by something, you can be conditioned in some way to expect the worst, but actually you're going to get the best out of the situation. Just like cycles of repeat that play out in our family lineage. It's like you may come from a certain heritage and it's expected of you to do something, but you're breaking a cycle because you're like, no, I'm independent, I'm free, I'm doing my own thing, and you're going to watch me thrive and be successful. But initially people may feel that, oh, well, you can't do that because we always do this or this is the norm. And you're like, well, I'm an individual, I'm doing what I feel called to do. So, you know, I feel like you're breaking a pattern or a cycle of repeat, and it's like liberating. Okay. Now, of course, if you're migrating a business or you're moving abroad, I would say it's important to follow some sort of structure or set of rules. Get advice if you need to do something legally there. But we have the sun. A lot of you are moving towards the sun, but this could be physical in nature. But I feel spiritually there's an awakening here. You're asking yourself, are you happy where you're at? You know, you're asking yourself, what's the meaning and purpose? You're looking at your fated, like, destined path and how hard it's been. But if you trust the process, believe in yourself and back yourself and be curious and open to more possibilities, you'll see things change for you in a really exciting way. The Sun card is success, okay? And this is you flourishing in where you feel you need to plant yourself or where you feel like you need to be, okay? It's like you may have like a goal, but it's like destination, it will be reached, but you don't know how you're going to get there, right? And the universe is saying, let me take care of how you get there. You just take care of the vision, okay? You just take care of what it is that you want. Because the Queen of Cups, you know, she holds sometimes a samovar or a cup of water. You know, what I'm doing in the water right now, I'm scrying. It's the vision. It's the vision of what I see for the future, or, you know, something symbolic. Pay close attention to signs and symbols this month because they are giving you a message from your guides about your path. You know, I'm seeing a map right now, so it could be that you're trying to make the necessary steps for your journey, or perhaps you're literally going away and you're looking at a map and saying, never been there before, let's go for it. Let's seek adventure. Some of you with that 7th house, it's like you're calling in your soul tribe and saying, hey, should we go on a spiritual retreat? Should we go on a road trip? Should we go and do this exciting thing, this festival, this... I feel like you are reigniting your spark. Whatever that is. It's like your flame is fully inflamed at the end of the month. But it started with a spark. I mean, that is like a wand that has a spark coming out of it. And this is a whole like orb of fire. You know, that wonderful kind of passionate, fiery, combustible ball of light in the sky, which is necessary for life. You know, without the sun, things cannot grow. So I feel this is a more positive approach. This is also like you shining a light in certain areas of your life where you want to develop things in a more healthy way. You're choosing healthier options. You may actually be hydrating more, maybe even taking more kind of like cleansing baths with like certain minerals that enrich your body, mind, and soul. You're definitely paying a lot of attention to your needs, both on an emotional but also a physical level. But also you're mapping your progress and seeing how hard you've come. And March is a bit more of a month where you're like, oh, can I relax a little bit? Can I take the foot off a little bit? Can I enjoy myself a little bit more? Well, the answer is yes. Okay, that's what's coming out there. I mean, that sun energy, it tells me that it's the end of conflict. It's you driving out the old. It's about you connecting to beauty, nature, getting out there, enjoying more time outside the home. It's also about you focusing on you and your glow up. You know, it's all about you choosing products or maybe clothes where you feel it expresses who you are, or makes you feel comfortable or excited, or yeah, I just feel like you're being more flamboyant this month and embracing all the possibilities from a very curious position, okay? Thank you so much, Spirit Guides and Angels. Can you please guide? Okay, so we have the handcuffs, okay? So this means that a stuck situation, you are liberated from it, okay? So it can be that also that you're locking on to something. It literally says here, control, target. You know, if you felt held back, now is the need to break free in some way. You know, you may be open to external forces, maybe even detained by external forces. So it can be, for example, that, you know, the universe says, I want to give you this opportunity. And you're like, well, I want that opportunity and I've been waiting and working towards it. And the universe says, well, you know what? I have to hold back a little bit because it's not ready for you now. Doesn't mean never. It means just not now, because there's a certain set of structures that you need to put into place, or you need to experience this one thing before you get what it is that you want. You know, sometimes there are certain rules or time frames, divine timing, where things come in. And I feel something is being delivered here for you. You know, you are destined to have this success. You are destined for all of this to come together, and you are destined to pass a very testing time and enjoy yourself and be free. And I definitely see here that, you know, where you felt powerless in a situation, you're reclaiming your power, and there is stability in that as well. I mean, for some of you, it could be that if you've been locked onto like a contract, right? If you're in a working environment and you're locked into a contract, it could be that you are leaving a position, but your hands are kind of tied because there's gardening leave, for example, or a certain period where you have to give notice. For some of you, it could be that you're getting out of a contract that you were locked into, like a service provider, or you find like a get out clause in something that you can like liberate yourself from. So it's like investigating the details of something you can free yourself up from. Okay, so it's like the inner workings of something can help you with knowledge so that you like find the best way to not be stuck in something, if that makes sense. I'm just trying to apply it to like real world energy that I'm feeling right now. It's like a contract or a relationship, for example. For some of you, it could be that, you know, you feel responsible for something, but you're just tired and you're realizing that actually you're not responsible for another person's happiness. You're responsible for your own. You can be there and be supportive, but actually you can't do it for the person. Sometimes, you know, we can enable a person or their behavior by caring too much, by always being there and doing it for them. And now you're freeing yourself up and saying, you know what, actually, I've done what I can, and now it's up to you. And you're freeing yourself from that responsibility. Doesn't mean you don't care. Doesn't mean you're not going to be there. But it's like, okay, I'm responsible for my happiness. You're responsible for your happiness. And together we can be truly happy indeed. But I can't make another person happy. Because, you know, sometimes we can do so much for a person and it's never enough, right? And for some of you, I feel like you are seeing that someone or something is really hard work, and no matter what you do, it's never enough. And now you're stepping back and saying, actually, I'm going to think more about me right now and relax. And then you start to see the universe bestow opportunity upon you because you took back your power, not in a selfish way, because you're starting with that Queen of Cups there. You still care. But you're realizing that actually you need to replenish your own cup of love first. Now we do have repairman, okay? So because I saw like the TV remote, taking it apart, maybe some of you will actually repair something in the home space. Maybe you're taking it apart to see the inner workings of it, or maybe some of you are fine-tuning something. If you think about the nature of remote control, to fine tune like a station, you're locked into something. I mean, it could also mean that some of you have a glitch on your TV this month, but it will be repaired, for example. But it says here, repair, fine tuning, heal, fix. And I definitely see that that is your family lineage, repairing something there. It says many working parts, reset. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like all the many working parts of your life are starting to slot into place. It's like it's all coming together. The big grand plan that you have. And it says here, proceeding carefully, needing, fixing something, making adjustments, recovering from something, skilled at something, making things right, making amends, restoring and upgrading. So I did mention there, like getting a bigger home, for example, with that, obviously there's like a bigger bank balance as well. So it could be that you're in the middle of making some adjustments in your life to upgrade life. There's nothing wrong with your life. I see here that, you know, with that Queen of Cups, you're content to some degree. You're grateful for what you have already. But of course, there is this pursuit for other goals. We always need a purpose as a human. So I feel like you're locked onto that. Now we also have Master, which is all about discipline, structure, and I feel like you are in a doing mode this month. You're conquering something, honing your skills, learning more about whatever it is that you do. Some of you may actually have some sort of new knowledge, or you go on some sort of creative course that advances you to the next stage. You may have a like qualification, certification, or even like passing a test on it. I feel like it helps you move into like a different pay grade. For some of you, it could be that, you know, if you're retired, for example, you want to join a group of people, but you have to pass a process, for example. Are you a like-minded individual? Do you have to sign like a contract or fill in a form or declare something before you can join? It doesn't have to be that you're retired. It can be that you are filling in forms to be part of an organization, for example, or connect to something. So please take it as it resonates. But it says discipline, working smart. Yes. Working smarter, not harder, is what I see there. That's why that toil and labor card is in the resistance position. Structure, teaching, training, conquering something, overcoming something, controlling something, learning a skill, being in the flow, authoritarian, commanding presence, okay? And I feel this is you like tapping into your presence, you know, that you have gravitas in a situation and you actually are in a more powerful position than you realize. Number 9 is all about independence as well, but it can be that you're overcoming a challenging situation, learning from it. But definitely I see structure there. Some of you will use your knowledge in order to create some sort of passive income or do something while you are like off having fun, for example. Now we have person of fire, okay? So this can be your energy, that you're confident, a visionary, because of course you've got the Knight of Wands there. Even though you're a person of air, it means you're tapping into the element of passion so that you can advance in some area of your life. And it says entrepreneur. You know, if you're not an entrepreneur already, I definitely see a lot of you launching an entrepreneurship this month, and it's going to be so successful. I mean, it's going to be hard work, okay? But I feel because you love what you do, it's not really going to feel like hard work. It's like you're excited and you're exploring and you're like, what if I do this? Oh my gosh, I could do that and it'd be amazing. I really feel like you're inspired. But it says here, trendsetter and leader. And I feel that's how you're taking control of your life this month. And it says energetic, more energy, outgoing, definitely getting out there, having more fun with friends, strong-willed, creative, courageous, teacher, actress, entrepreneur, artist, or PR. So if you are a creative, I would say that, you know, you are getting your message out there, getting your work out there, maybe even some sort of middle person. What I mean by that is like a manager or publisher or, you know, someone who has the power to help you or give you a piece of information, helps you and advances your position in some way. We've got a flag. So this is conquering something, okay? It could be you making your mark in some area of your life, but also this is about establishing what you're here to do because of your 12th house. Your 12th house is saying, who am I? What am I here to do? What am I about? What's my values? What do I believe in? So it says here, achievement, recognition, overthrowing something, success, victory, a winner, conquest, mastery, bragging rights. Interesting. Carry the day, plans are coming to fruition, and you're king of the mountain. Okay, so yeah, you're on top of things, managing things really well there. I would say if you're in a competitive arena in some way, or even if you're literally just taking part in like a pub quiz, for example, or a competition online, I feel like you have a real opportunity here to win or be someone who is noticed for taking part. And finally, we've got shield, which means you're protected, of course, in all your explorative endeavors. It says here, defense, block, support, safeguard, guardian, standing up for what you believe in, being prepared, heroic, security, warding off unwanted energies. That's you being discerning about the company that you keep there, being on guard and withstanding things. I feel like you're managing pressure, but also I would say just be a little bit mindful of your immune system this month, of course. Because the sun is there, I would say maybe more vitamin D for some of you, but always get the advice of a practitioner. Just because the shield and, you know, you being so busy, I feel like you don't want to drop the ball, of course, and you won't. But when you take some downtime and some rest, suddenly the body that's been like, you know, in like a a response where you're just doing. Suddenly you get a moment to relax and your body's like, oh, and it kind of feels like, your immune system is a little bit wanting, shall we say, for extra vitamins. So just watch out for that there. I'm just going to go and get a trinket or ring before we close. Okay, so we have the dragonfly. Now this is really an indication that you're living in the moment. You're trying to embrace the time that you have here on this earth, which is wonderful and it is lengthy and you have so much that you want to do and you're just busy doing it. The dragonfly has a certain life cycle and it is the dance. If you know or have witnessed dragonflies, they have a certain period where they actually are in that dance of life and they flit from different things. Variety is a spice of life, but also they partner up with, the love of their life to procreate, of course, short period of time. So it can indicate that some of you, especially if you're looking for love, there's some flirtations available to you in the month of March. But if you're looking for love, I feel that, it's the next person that you meet. Because I feel you could actually have, a connection with someone who, if you want to take it further and it be physical, of course, it may be like you living in the moment and both of you having no expectations of things of where they're going to go. But I feel the next person is someone where I feel that, you could really invest in a relationship with that person. So if you're catching feelings, maybe have an honest, open conversation with the person. If you're meeting someone new this month, and ask them what it is that they envisage for the future. But looking at your energy, Knight of Wands, I feel like, you don't want to be tied down right now. I feel like you're enjoying your free time. But I feel, life will put you in the path of the person you're destined to be with when the moment is right. But I really feel this trinket is about enjoy the moment, Be flexible, try things out, be open to new things. And I definitely see here that that's what you're doing. Also, we've got the books. So you're closing a chapter in your life, but also you're learning things and you're on to the next. A lot of you may even spend time with yourself, reconnecting to things that you used to love doing when you were younger. As I mentioned before, like squirreling away, reading a book. Some of you may be writing a book. Maybe that's why something has been giving me this feeling about books in your reading. But it could also be that you are putting yourself in a course of learning, or you're using your knowledge to embrace a new chapter of your life in some way. And I feel a lot of you, you could literally write a book about your life, about the challenges you've had, how you've come through those things, what you're doing right now. And I feel that this is something you may connect to in the future. Especially if you're retired, it could be that you're writing novels, or, using your imagination, letting it run wild this month, maybe starting a new novel, maybe writing a new novel, maybe starting a new novel, maybe writing a new novel. But maybe it's more than that. Maybe it's that you are in control of the paintbrush and, you have a blank canvas this month and now you're in control of how it should go. And you're going to be bold and daring and flamboyant, and you are not going to have this quiet kind of like life where you are allowing your light to be hidden. I feel like you're letting it all shine this month. Shine, shine, shine. I mean, this is a card of letting your light shine. You're in an awakening where it's like, this is your life. This is not a dress rehearsal. This is life. And you are out there enjoying what life has to offer. So I'll leave it there. I hope something resonates with you, my beautiful Librans. Thank you so much, and love and light.